Hey everyone, welcome back to our Fallout 4 sort of retrospective trip down memory lane, as it were. We're heading all the way back to Sanctuary. To Sanctuary Hills? Is this?
Ain't looking for trouble.
Oh, no, okay. I was about to say, is that McCready? I don't think so. But yeah, Sanctuary Hills, this is one of the places that, like I alluded to last time, which apologies as well. Oh look, we can already see a bunch of it. Apologies, I had to skip yesterday's video because we also did an in real life video, yesterday's Fallout 4 video.
Nice to have someone
but
watching my back.
out here, oh dear, something's gone awry.
Gentlemen.
Oh no, it's just someone really running. But out here, like I've said, I struggle with what to do with Sanctuary Hills, right? I of course have an inclination to build up the structures here, the pre-existing houses, and have them going. But then you run into issues as you're like fine-tuning everything, wherein you see, oh, where's the radio? There we go. Okay. Oh, there's another one back here. Oh, there we are. Okay. But, like I said, you run into issues wherein you're sort of building along what already exists in the world, and it's so dilapidated that actually, I get the sense at least, that it's worse off than if someone were just living in a completely fabricated structure that I've made, which is this right here, which I kind of situate to mimic the pre-war dilapidated buildings, you know? I don't know. Which, true enough, these buildings also have, like, holes in the ceilings, too. Right? They're not exactly perfect, either. I don't know. There's just something weird about trying to make do with the pre-made stuff that doesn't sit right with me. You know, something about it feels off. Anyway, I very much do enjoy our heavy use of the windmills. I think the windmills look absolutely gorgeous, especially when they're lit up with like this golden, yellow, orange. I think it looks great, especially, you know, against the eternally blue, well, not eternally, but oftentimes some shade of blue. You get that nice blue, yellow, orange contrast. Pops really well.
Got a
But yeah.
dangerous look about you.
Built up a
Wait
lot
here
of
for
stuff
me.
here. Got places for people to chill. That said, you know, like I mentioned, it feels a little uncluttered, right? Like, how much building room do I have remaining? Yeah, we're almost capped out. Because I think the issue is that Sanctuary Hills is just too damn big, right? It's too damn big for how much settlement size allotment you get. So you end up with, you know, like this, if we're up this close, this starts to look okay, but could do with some clutter up top. However, this area, there's just not enough stuff in here. You know, there needs to be like some shelves and whatnot, but you can't do that with every single house and have it set up like how it was pre-war, to where it's like every house is just like 2 to 3 beds for people living in there, presumably like together in some way. You know, you can't set it up exactly in that way. It still has to, I don't know. You're spreading what resources you have fairly thin. And also, I kind of dislike the look of when you do clear these areas here, and it's just the lower section, the like the not the basement, the foundation of the building continues to exist. I think it looks so gnarly, right? And it also sucks that none of your like building pieces fit perfectly on it. See, we've got like bits of overhang or the inverse of it on this side. Like here is maybe where it's closest aligned, but even then it ain't perfect, right? I don't know. It's and the way in which this is aligned, like we're building with two very different systems here, or like sizes. Right, yes, we're using too many different sizes for whatever. and it ends up looking kind of kooky when it's all said and done, right? Like, it doesn't mesh well together. So I don't know, like in the main playthrough, maybe I'll just leave the big old scrapped ass buildings there. We'll see how much, like, settlement allotment we still have. And we'll build somewhere else, right? Like, we could incorporate the bridge. That's kind of a fun, unique aspect to Sanctuary Hills. Or parts of the river. I don't know, maybe the bridge is the way to go. You know? The bridge is pretty fun. Like, this whole section right here, this could be it. And just the rest of it is left kind of out there. Right? Because, like I said, I'm fairly unsatisfied with how it all turns out at the end of the day. And you know, like, getting rid of the mailbox stands, I think I had gotten rid of at least some of them. I kind of hate it. I kind of hate getting rid of the mailbox stands because if I do want to continue working within Sanctuary Hills and going for that sort of American suburb aesthetic, but have it be post-war, I feel as though the mailboxes are, like, essential. Right? I don't know. It's just another instance of stuff that I feel kind of guilty about scrapping. Same goes for, like, some of the cars that were parked formerly in the garage areas here. Like, I think there was a old Corvega that was beat up here. I feel like it looked better being there. I don't know. There's other weird affectations, like, I think there's Eternally somewhere back here, unless they fixed it or changed it. Maybe it's back over this way. But there's places wherein there's little bits of junk that you can't quite scrap, that you're very clearly made to be able to scrap, because it highlights, but it's kind of like colliding in and out of the boundary. It's at one of these. I can't remember exactly where, obviously. But yeah, you can't quite scrap it. I don't know. Yeah, this right here, there's some stuff inside of this, which I somehow got lodged up in here, but now I can never get it out. That one's my doing, though. That wasn't, like, baked in. Okay, we need to watch out for these radios real quick. Otherwise, maybe parts of the playthrough, or of, not the playthrough, but the little mini-series will just be muted until I turn off the radios and whatnot. Maybe that's a necessity. Okay. So isn't this our house from the very start? Got some bottle caps in there. Yeah, this is it, isn't it? Yeah. This is your start of the game, right? Yeah, with the crib and everything. Okay. There's some people finding out. Uh-oh. And like this, the Mr. Handy. Because this belonged to Codsworth. I can't just get rid of it, right? Especially given the fact that you can't place any more of them. You know, I would love it if that were a sort of clutter option. Same goes for the washer and dryer. Right? Sort of really leaning into what I was talking about last time, wherein some of the stuff, it just feels wrong to declutter. Right? And here's another great example of what I was referring to. With stuff feeling kind of weird, right? You can, of course, build inside of these houses and whatnot. Right? And like I said, the roof and ceiling leaves something to be desired. It's like a complete fucking mess. Like, I think that whatever there, that geometry, part of the venting or whatever, is just floating. Right? I think it's just floating. Don't pay too much attention to it, because I think it's just floating in space. But suppose none of that stuff bothered you, and you did want to live in here. Ultimately, you have to put up with these leaves and everything inside, right? It will never be fully perfectly cleaned out, as if it were lived in. You still have, like, the textures down here of all this junk, like, piled up. And I think there's some degree of it not being flat. So, yeah, like, case in point right here. I tried to put a rug over it to cover it up. You know, the old classic solution. I tried to throw a rug on top to try and, you know, out of sight, out of mind. But it doesn't work because there's depth to the pile of leaves, right? It's not just, like, bump mapping. You know? I don't know. I think when we eventually come back to do all this, I think we need to approach it from a different angle. And also back here, you have weird parts where you can't scrap other parts of the kitchen, but you can scrap the stove and the fridge door and fridge, but other parts of it are a no-go. So then if you did that, you would end up just with like this weird blank area here because you can't pop in another stove, I don't believe. I don't know. Very weird stuff. And because of it, I think Sanctuary Hills, also because, you just start there. I think Sanctuary Hills is my most, like, tooled around in and sort of recombobulated settlement. It's the one that I've just done up and redone the most. Because I'm always, like, in a constant state of dissatisfaction with how it looks. And when I spend time in it, the little bits of it that bother me just continue to bother me even more. But here we've got some more stuff where I've built a whole bunch of junk up. I think this was meant to be like a bit of a merchant square. I wanted to have Brahmin here at some point, but I think I never fully got around to it. I was trying to plan out a whole bunch of stuff for that. Oh dear. I think we have a cafe on top. Yeah. Okay. Good. But yeah, my favorite thing about it has got to be this rooftop bar. I really love this, you know? One of my favorite things to do with setting up chairs is have them set up not necessarily for usability, because, I don't know, the odds of them being used are very slim, but have them set up for, because, you've got so many chairs and only like 20 to 30 at best settlers, But I love having it set up for just like a picturesque scene, right? Like this is a great microcosm of it. Obviously, if you were sitting here, you wouldn't want to look at the milk machine and Nuka-Cola machine. Maybe you would look out over there at the river. Maybe. But it strikes a great visual if you come through and you see, and they're facing you, the individual, the player, walking through it. Which is a lot of thought to put into something that is just for me, right? Admittedly, that is a little bit wild, that is a little bit deranged to put so much thought into something that only exists in a single player state, right? But it is something that I've thought about, right? And I kind of carry it over to other games and stuff when I do this kind of decorating. If it's functional, but realistically it's not going to be functional, right? We're never almost ever going to see all of these chairs being used. Even like half of them I doubt we'll ever see used at once. But nonetheless, man, I love it up here with the sort of rooftop bar. And here we've got the vendor lords. It's fun. The fun, okay, Marge. We've got the fun like little bazaar here going on. Very much enjoyed that. Okay. Let's head on back out. Good. But yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll just build something around the river. We'll focus on the river itself. I think someone wrote in as well saying that they did something similar. I could see us doing that in the future, or really incorporating the bridge, which I think is pretty cool. Like, obviously the cool thing about this is that it's a suburban neighborhood, but like I said, if you try and go along those lines, I feel like you're just stretched so thin with what you can do. I don't know. Oh shit, are we under attack? No, it's just Nick running.
Life still ain't perfect, but we're surviving.
Marcy's just got the fucking gun out, ready to go. Oh look, I was very clearly trying to do something here as well. I even moved around a chair, and now it blocks the entry point. Good lord. I think you can take down these radiators, right? Yeah, but it's another instance where I left the radiator up because you can't place a radiator. Pre or post-war, no radiator placement allowed.
Mama Murphy's as good as
Let's
her
see, what
word.
have I got?
No more
Brotherhood of
clothes.
Steel 2 stuff.
No more sight either.
Oh yeah, this is something weird. Does she normally walk? I don't think so. Once you complete her little arc, I think she's supposed to stay inside of her chair the whole damn time, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe once you get to the end of it, and you convince her either to get off of cams, or obviously you convince her to die. You give her drugs and she dies. I think she's meant to stay in the chair the whole damn time, right? Nah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's quite the sight to see her just going around hammering, though, right? Maybe I'm just misremembering that she actually does get up out of the chair. Okay. I remember there being some, like I said, I've been going through the official Fallout 4 concept art, and I remarked earlier that, like, I've kind of been destroyed by modern, contemporary sort of artwork that I've seen, because sometimes I'm looking at the concept art, I'm like, man, this looks almost like it could have been AI generated or whatever, right? But it is not. It is official concept art taken from their like, I don't know, their posts or the concept art book or whatever. It's all up free on archive.org, or at least seemingly all of it is up there for free. Let's see, let's drink some water here. There we are. But, God, where was... Oh, yeah. There's cool concept art of Mama Murphy and, like, various early versions of her. And, of course, she looks different and stuff in different versions. But most notably was that she had a wheelchair, or, like, a post-war looking fun Fallout-esque wheelchair that either had, like, jet engines or, like, massive tank treads, the kind that you would see on, like, a Robo-Brain. And she was rolling around on that. I thought that looked so fucking dope. But fair enough, I guess it would be a little bit weird and odd to see that in such an early game area, right? I feel like you need to hold on to that and wait to sort of show off that more fantastical stuff later on, at least midway through. It would be like opening the game and immediately showing, like, in Fallout 3, Liberty Prime, or in 4 even, right? I feel like, you know, you need to sort of hold back a few things and show them off later. You know, have be like, look, check out this weird, cool design we came up with, huh? Alright. Here's something I really enjoyed. I remember really liking this. How this ended up being both like a middle section of the wall. I very much enjoyed that. Because I know I really, really struggled with building using these, like, tin can ones. I think they're meant to look kind of like airplanes or something. What are they described as, even? Just shack, wall, and roof. Okay. Yeah. But this one I always struggled with because it's so oddly shaped. I don't know. I never really quite knew what to do with it. And I think probably here making such a large building is kind of rough in and of itself, right? It really sort of shows off the downsides of it. Okay. Let's see, up here. Got another floor with some couple mattresses. Proper beds here. Is there a rooftop? No, I don't think so. Now this is cool. This, I absolutely love doing shit like this. Having it connect in this way. Right, like there's no real reason for anyone to come over here, at least as of yet. And I'm not even sure if they're intelligent enough to paths along that. But man, I love that connects, even kind of like asymmetrically. I kind of enjoy that too. But I think the issue with this is that I need other asymmetry in place to make it look intentional, right? Otherwise, it looks kind of sloppy, right? When of course, if I'm trying to align that foundation, that building with that foundation, obviously there is going to be an imperfect join here, or a connector, if I did have one, right? Because it's already existing at an angle. So I think maybe what you need is you just need more little, like, offshoots, more stuff coming off and on the rooftop, if you were to do it, to make it seem like you deliberately wanted the asymmetry at play. Alright, and over here, we got more windmills. Like I said, I absolutely love them. I think it looked pretty cool coming up onto Sanctuary Hills. I honestly forgot I used so many windmills. But yeah, I think it looks great. Over here. Oh, this. I really enjoyed doing this. Just sort of putting up this nice sort of protective fence around the greenery there and the tree. Which, not that you really need it. It's not like anyone's driving a car here. But, I don't know. Aesthetically, it works, for me at least. I think it looks very nice. Over here, we've kind of got our big Minutemen teleporter used to, well, you use it during the main quest. Toward the end. Got a whole bunch of stuff back here, just our operations area for all of that. Maybe this is the solution, right? Maybe this is how you treat it. Right, I've kind of done these two here. To where it's just sort of like set up like, oh, this is the Brahmin zone. Check it out. Brahmin are here feasting. And look, this... I guess this guy's getting ready to fucking bop that Brahmin's noggin. Oh, I think... Is it that this tub is backwards? Or maybe this Brahmin is just climbing around. But nonetheless, maybe this is the solution. Right? You just kind of lean into the shittiness of it. And just set it up not as an actual building in and of itself, but like a little outdoor camp zone. You know? Maybe that's how you do it. But even here, once again, you run into spacing issues, right? Like if, here we've got, it imperfectly sits here, not at the corner. Not even at like this inner corner, nor at this outer corner. The fence post doesn't sit right. And it only gets worse the further back you go from this point. Like, see? And if we went the other way, it would be hanging off, which would be even worse. And then same goes here. Like I said, it would be hanging off. And of course, we could maybe adjust it a little bit to where it wouldn't quite hang off. But then, our opening here totally doesn't work, right? Because you have to align it from this point. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the foundations in and of themselves distress me in some way, right? Like, this is cool at a glance, but if you look too closely at it, the details start to irk me. You know?
Is this a better time?
Oh, Preston, you're actually in Sanctuary. Okay. Huh. Alright, well that makes sense, I guess. If this is like our secondary HQ for the Minutemen. Honestly, Preston should probably be back at the castle. If he's to be anywhere. Okay. Anything over here? And you know, people joke a lot about Preston saying like, oh, another settlement needs your help. And I do think it's like a fun little joke, but I think some people take it very literally and less joking, and they're like, yeah, he's always giving me a quest. I don't have that issue. I've never had that problem where he's just like constantly giving me a quest. I do have it to where if I roll up onto a settlement, they're liable to say, oh, we need help or whatever, or like we had seen there's checkpoints and stuff like that. Or obviously if I tune into Minutemen Radio, I could get a quest from that as well, being like, oh, there's tales of an attack at one of our settlements or whatever, right? And you could have that popping off. But I don't really get that many from Preston, right? Like I said, I think it works great as just like a funny little joke, but otherwise, I think it's vastly blown out proportion for how bad it even was at launch or whatever. I don't know. It never happened to me that much, and I have like close to 1,000 hours in this damn game. I don't know. Maybe mine didn't have that issue. Anyway, here's another perfect example of not wanting to get rid of stuff in the world. So obviously, if we had taken out this tree, there would be a massive dent that never gets fixed in the shrub here, right? So it makes more sense to me to keep the maple log here and never scrap it. Because then at least you have the aesthetics of seeing like, well, obviously it has a dent there because there's a giant log resting on it, right? And then, even better, well, obviously the log came from the tree stump. Thus, I don't touch it, right? Thus, I must keep it as is. Anyway, these are probably the two structures, if you can even call them that I'm most happy with here in Sanctuary. Like, the other ones are cool, but like I said, there's just so much detailing about that is weird. You know? So much of it, like, is better not considered. I kind of went with a bit of the, you know, having the crops... Oh, look at this. What a fucking mess, huh? I kind of went with the idea of, oh, let's have the crops growing in people's backyards. But I don't know if that's a great idea either.
Don't much care,
you know?
for good neighbor. That place
I
is
don't
nothing
know.
but trouble.
Especially now since I think there's either DLC or one of the free Creation Club units. I think it was DLC, right? Wasn't it like Wasteland Workshop or whatever? That adds the farm tiles that you can just plant somewhere. I think that maybe that would work out pretty well. You know? Yeah, I think this was... Oh, you know what the issue was here? Okay, I know exactly why it looks like this. Because this is another instance of where I had fucked up and gotten rid of something that sort of takes away the soul of the area. So, let's see here. Can we bring up the fences again? Let's see, yeah, fences. Picket fence. Great. Okay, perfect. Well, let's use one of the extra long ones. So yeah, here, if we had properly tried to connect and form up the backyard, you will just have a massive floating part right here, right? This entire section would just be floating in the damn sky if you wanted it to connect, like, properly right there, right? The issue is that this part of the picket fence, I built, right? I built it.
Life isn't
so,
an easy one, but it's
originally, there was just dilapidated fence here, I think. Or it was completely missing and like, torn down or whatever. And that works so well, I think. And that was a big mistake on my part, was getting rid of it. That said, maybe going forward, we just get rid of the entirety, like I said, and just don't mess around with any of this whatsoever. Right? And this is one of the fun stopgap solutions I tried to have here, where it doesn't quite perfectly match up either. I just put down one of these where it's broken. It's like, okay, just kind of imagine, fill in the gap, you know? Imagine how else it would work, because as you can see, here's one of the picket posts, and then here's the other, like a foot higher in the air. It just wouldn't work out.
Another day of hard work.
Oh, is this the one that I actually can't take? Hang on. No, I can take that one. Okay. I can't remember. There's one around here that I can't take. Maybe it was around... Oh, maybe it was around here? No, I can get that too. Alright. But yeah, see, I feel like maybe less is more with these picket fences. I don't know. I'm surprised that you can't take down this stuff in the playground. Oh, you can take down the swing set, but then the, like, geometric fun dome and the monkey bars remain? See, I feel like that's another point wherein if you're going to have these still here, why would you get rid of the swing set, right? You should keep the swing set too, that way it still is reminiscent of a, like, children's playground or whatever, right? I think of it as sort of like the same design philosophy that's used in the rest of the game, you know? Sort of the cool thing about Diamond City, the cool defining feature, is that it's a former baseball stadium, you know? And although they've built a lot of stuff in and around it, there are still very clear defining features that encompass the city that are like, oh yeah, that's part of it that looks like the baseball stadium. You know, it still evokes that, even with all the stuff built inside, and that looks cool. That feels very, like, post-apocalyptic, which, you know, people have their gripes about how far post-apocalyptic, how far removed it should be after multiple hundreds of years, which I think is fair game, but within each game, I kind of want to adhere to that aesthetic, especially in this game wherein I'm building stuff, you know? So that's part and parcel why I very much enjoy sort of building around the pre-existing, like, vibe or soul of the settlement, you know? And like I said here, I don't know, I just struggle with what to do. There's just so much to it. Like, there's this whole empty space here, which, I don't know, it's just so big and empty. And there's just not much to do with it. Maybe the river is, like, the main defining feature, but even in saying that, I only get one bank on the river, you know? You couldn't make, like, an entire settlement spanning the entirety of the river. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when we finally get to our playthrough, we'll actually end up doing very little in Sanctuary Hills, ironically enough. sort of the opposite of what I've done here, where I've just like eternally struggled with it. And maybe we'll hold off until some sort of idea comes to me. Like, I do like the idea of building at the river, too. Like, it's not a bad idea. It's just that, I don't know, having access to only one side of it is a little troubling. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's, like, an ideal solution, at least not that I can think of. Okay. We should probably rest here. It's getting dark. Why not, right? We can even get some extra water. Our workshop is at, not even at our house. Why is that, you think? I'm surprised that the workshop doesn't exist at your character's home. You know, it's like your neighbor across the street whose workshop you're using. Okay. Let's see. Which, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's just a peculiar choice that they made. Let's see here. Aid. Purified water. Well, how much do we have? Do I have a lot of purified water still? Am I carrying around like 50? I'm carrying around 20. How much does it weigh? 0.5? Okay, I'll take 10. There we are. Good.
What gave you the idea we're friends?
Okay, then let's do a little snooze. Let's go for 10 hours, I think. Man, people fucking hate Marcy Long. And true enough, she sucks ass. She is so horrible. She is pretty bad. But I don't think I could ever bring myself to, like, deliberately kill her. I kind of love that she does suck and does exist within our little place, right? I kind of like that. Okay, here we are. Good. Look at that. The way in which the sunlight hits the cloud coverage is wild. Huh. And is it correct, too, that's all coming from the east? I don't know that it is, right? Like, in that case,
Yes.
Shouldn't that be flipped around? That cloud? Yeah, I don't think all the clouds necessarily make sense. The time of day makes sense. But if the sun is rising in the east, how is it that that part of the cloud is lit up? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It does look really beautiful, though, when you don't think about it too much. Okay. Let's head on out over here. Where do we want to go to next? Oh, should we do Starlight Drive-In or Ten Pines Bluff? Or we could even do Covenant. Now, let's go to Starlight Drive-In. It's a wild one. Starlight Drive-In is probably my wildest looking one. Like I said, with a lot of them, I tried to make it, like, feasible and make sense within the world. For Starlight Drive-In, I was just like, man,
Yeah.
I fucked up by getting rid of all these cars. The cars were so cool parked out here, and I regret so much getting rid of them. Now I don't know what to do with this big empty parking lot with like one pool of water in the middle. So I thought, man, what could I do here? Maybe I'll just start fucking around and building some weird shit. So I built something pretty damn weird. This one I definitely remember. I built something pretty damn fucking weird at Starlight Drive-In. Let's head over and we'll feast our eyes upon it. Let's see here. And you know, we were talking about having interiors that you could go inside of. There are actually a few buildings here that are unmarked in Concordia that you can actually enter. Obviously not anywhere close to even half of them. Look at all these fucking birds, huh? Fuck off. Terrifying things. Okay. But some of them you can actually go inside of it. It's like its own interior. Now, of course, there's also this, the fun secret. Like, if you ever go down here, you get the civic access, which there's another entry-exit point as well. There's like some Mirelurks down there. There's Isn't there like a magazine down there? Oh, here's one of them. Yeah, here's one of the unmarked ones. It's even got a lantern out for you to notice. Workhouse. I want to say there's another one too. I want to say it, but I'm not sure. Have I ever been to this house? This like hill overlook house? God, I don't know if I have. This place is kind of up here on its own. What the hell? Surely I've been up here. Yeah, surely I've been here before. It is wild that these houses are just up here. Can hear distant gunfight. I love that. I love that you can just hear shit popping off way far away. That the only, like, noise pollution is just the occasional firefight breaking out. And I think you can go over to it. It's coming from, like, fucking Robotics Disposal Ground or Sanctuary, huh? Yeah, look at that. It's popping off over here at the Red Rocket. They are fighting. It sounds so cool. Oh, and there we go. The laser fire filling the sky. Oh my gosh. This is what I'm saying. If you aren't using the... like, especially at the castle, because when it gets attacked as part of the main story, depending on who you side with, if you aren't using the fucking laser turrets, you're missing out. It looks so cool. That was just like one and then a little bit of another one. So two of them kind of working in unison there. But it looks even better when you have just like shitloads of them just filling the fucking sky, shooting at vertibirds coming in. Oh my god, it looks incredible. And it gets really framey as well. Excuse me. You get a nice hit to your frames there as well with all the shit popping off, but it's worth it. As long as the game doesn't crash. Okay. So, let's continue over to Starlight. There we are. Good, good, good. I'm a little sad that I don't have a laser musket on me. Right? It is kind of like my favorite new addition to Fallout 4 aside from what they did with the power armor. I think the laser musket is so enjoyable to use. Oh, hey, here's another one. Yeah, it's got a little light. The speakeasy. Maybe that's how they discern which ones you can go in. They try and lead you around with light. Right, same goes for this building. The Museum of Freedom. Okay. Still have these out here. I think these respawn every now and then. The fusion cells. I think I remember as well the body being out here for a very long time. I'm surprised it's like gone, you know? Some of the weapons from this fight, that shotgun is still out here. This would have been from when the bandits attacked, the raiders attacked, and then the Deathclaw came out. Huh. That's wild. Take a cola. Okay. Sure. Very much enjoyed the sort of decoration around the town. Right. Very clearly alludes to a situation wherein you would... Right, I believe someone even wrote in about this. Municipal plutonium well? What the fuck? What is that? I never knew of such a thing. I've literally never seen that. I never took in the plutonium well. I always just kind of walked by and didn't take note of it. Huh. Okay. But yeah, someone even wrote in with originally, the speech would be delivered, right? Nate's speech, and you would either be playing as him or, I guess, his wife, and you would be there. I do wonder if there was a point in time where Fallout 4 only had a playable male protagonist, right? I don't know. Because at least the pre-war stuff feels kind of half-baked for Nora, right? I don't know. It feels like it's not quite as fleshed out as it is for Nate. I'm not sure, though. But either way, I'm glad that they did it. Because right, I could see a point in time where they were like, oh yeah, we want to have a voiced protagonist or whatever, but we're not sure if we're going to have the time or budget to completely redo all of it and have it work with, as well, another voice protagonist, you know? Whether you decide to go with Nate or Nora, right? But yeah, here very clearly we could see like a point where maybe even in the pre-war segment, you come down here in like a Corvega or something, one of the cars. You come down here, celebrate history, something, Museum of Freedom, and Nate is here to give a speech, and then Rise is saying like, yeah, and war never changes. All sorts of shit starts to pop off. Maybe you have to run through town as chaos starts erupting. Because somehow, right? This happens. Right? What is this? Was this just out here? Why does it look so fucking wild? Oh, okay, I see what it is. Okay. This is just the shielding of it. I thought that this was a fucking, like, semi-truck somehow stuck to the building. But no, it's all junk that's, like, retrofitted with the like, old-school-looking, I don't know, townhouse style. Has a whole bunch of retro-futuristic stuff strapped onto it, which I think looks really dope.
You see a lot of folks at their worst.
Huh. Oh, look, you can kind of get up there, can't you? Is there something up here worth looking at? Oh, no. Do you fall through? No, wait, look, I can totally get up. I just futzed it up a little bit. Up. Huh. Yeah, I can get up here, but to what end, really? I mean, certainly we could with the jetpack, if we had brought our power armor. I don't think there's anything up here. Huh. I do really love Concordia here. Oh look, here's another secret place. Oh, that's the back end of the speakeasy. Yeah, honestly, if I had the money, I would love to live in a town like this, honestly. I would love it. I would love to live in a town like this. I think it's so gorgeous. Right? I mean, obviously not like post-war or even pre-war within the world of Fallout, but like a peaceful little fun town like this where that's very, you know, it's got a very nice walkable neighborhood, right? It's got places for car traffic, but not too much. You know, I love the little like 2 to 3 story townhouses. I think it's lovely. I like it. And even having it be in like the what do you call it, part of the United States that Boston is in, the like Northeast. What's the specific name for it? Is it just called the Northeast? No, it's got the New England area. Yeah. Gosh, I love the New England area and all that, especially during the autumn. That's when it really kicks off. Which, hey, here they kind of lean into it. That said, Fallout 4 definitely a little bit more like late autumn, because a lot of the leaves have already come down. I wouldn't mind seeing more like that in the future, you know? Just really lean into that, like, autumnal vibe. Yeah, because truth be told, although Fallout 4 is very much in Boston, the New England area, it has very little in the way of New England vibes, you know? Like, especially with the way in which people dress and whatnot, it's a lot more nautical, but not quite like New England nautical sort of aesthetic, you know? I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense to anyone who doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Right? But you have shit like out here and whatnot. I don't know. Where is real-ass Salem? Where is real-ass Salem? That's a place that would be cool to set a Fallout game as well. In and around Salem? I'd be down for that, rather than, like, this version of Salem, which I don't think is meant to be real-ass Salem. I don't think it's that close to Boston, is it? God, maybe it is. I think it's further north along the coast. Isn't it, like, somewhere in, like, I don't know, New Hampshire? Something like that? I don't know. Listen.
Welcome to your
Whew, the United States is fucking enormous.
When I thought we were getting along.
There we go. Good. Let's have some water. But yeah, I think that would be... If I had the money for it, I would love to have... To live in a small town like Concordia, kind of like along the... Not exactly along the coast, but close enough to where you could drive over to it and see it if you wanted. But small town kind of like Concordia in Vermont, right? Vermont, I think, looks fucking beautiful in the autumn. Anyway, speaking of things that look fucking beautiful, here's Starlight Drive-In, baby! My wildest creation, right? And you may be thinking, well, look at all these bozos down here. But check it out. They do actually manage to path up here. They will actually go up. Look at this. They're doing it now as we speak. Somehow, some way, I don't even know how such a feat was possible, but they will actually legitimately go up and interact with all of it. It is undoubtedly the weirdest fucking thing I've ever made in this game. Starlight Drive-In. Truly fucking sublime in its absurdity. I've completely ignored everything with the enormous, cool-looking, what do you call it, the like, projector screen. The part where, you know, they've got the little interior here and where the projector would play from and the little drive-in undercarriage, whatever, right? Completely ignored, I think, all of that. And just was like, man, we got this huge parking lot. Let's just fucking build something in here. Why not?
You should have seen it. We cut those raiders to pieces.
Right, so here we've got this fun little light centerpiece or whatever. Got a couple shops here on this inner ring.
Hi, how are you?
And I believe on the outer ring, we've got, of course, a whole bunch of the windmills, which I really like, kind of set up like that. It was such a pain in the ass to set those up. I don't even remember how I exactly got up there to it. It was such a pain in the ass, though, to build it. But here we've got just a shitload of mattresses and stuff for people. In order to have it to where people could actually sleep, I believe I had to set it up to be mattresses rather than, what do you call it? Beds. Because, of course, you wouldn't be able to walk over that. But in this way, I tried to set it up to where they could do it. I think a few of them might be beds.
The farm's not much, but it's something.
I don't know. Oh, look. Another fun-loving dog. Yeah, do I have beds over here? I do. Yeah, I fucking love it. I think I wanted to as well have railing on all of them.
Starting to think we're finally.
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm 6 feet tall and I ain't no hand-me-down. Okay. So, this, I kind of like this. I'm surprised I don't have it on both of them, right? But as well, here I really enjoy this. Our sort of like little makeshift bar area. Got some places set up for people to sit. Right, I love how it's kind of put in this corner here, and then people will walk up here to their little sleeping quarters. I don't know. It's really wild. And I think a lot of it as well was born from me, like I said, wanting to figure out what the hell to do with this weirdly shaped steel structure. And this is kind of just what I came up with. This was it. I just wanted to fuck around. And I love here as well. I got the 4-way entry exit. That way it's kind of like, it's aired out. It's not like super closed in. That way there's like a balcony area. You can come out and look around and be like, oh yeah, cool, look, it's a big fucking wall. Right, you have that fun little area. There's a little crafting zone here. People to do some scrap gathering or whatever it's called with these little shelves. Golly, yeah, I love this. If I wanted to have it really nice, I would set up like a table in every corner and put like a turret on top. But I think it's way less efficient. I don't think they would be able to shoot at most stuff. Whereas having the turrets right here, I think is way better. Because then these turrets can like shoot underneath if they get attacked. But yeah, I think the most mind-blowing part of all this is the fact that they actually go and like come up here, right? It's such a shock to me that they do it. I don't know. It's so wild. I honestly, at first I was like, man, this is kind of hideous, but I just kept working at it. This is probably my second most worked on settlement because it's such a weird feat. Right? And obviously, like I'd mentioned before, it's physically impossible. You know, there's no way in the world in which this could physically exist. I mean, I guess you could make it work out by way of having far more support structures. Oh, Warwick Homestead is under attack. Well, good luck. It's like a million fucking miles away from here. But, you know, have more, like, support pillars coming down at like, every corner. That would be kind of cool to see. That might work out. I don't know. It's possible, but in and of itself, very cool. I believe we've still got a smidgen of settlement size to still work with, if we wanted to. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I don't even remember how I managed to get up there and connect and place those. I guess what I must have done is I ripped off a roof, right, for one of these, built a staircase leading up, because I didn't have the jetpack when I did this, I don't think. But I had the staircase there, and I went up, and I placed all those things up there. And then when I was done, I had to come back down into the same area, I think. Or I guess I could just jump off the side. I don't know. Really wild to have built this.
If you ain't been up to see Grey Garden, you should
Absolutely
go.
my...
The place is run by robots.
When it comes to having a weird, fucking strange design, absolutely my pride and joy, I think. One of the things I like here as well is how much stuff connects to the center pole, right? Kind of seeing it all like that. I think it's, yeah. It's like a perfect, I don't know, 7-point or 8-point unit. Yeah. Because you have one that connects to every single turret zone. And then one that connects to every single inlet here. And runs along inside. Like I said, wire management and having it to where, like, the wires are kind of out of the way, I actually really enjoy it. Right? There is something to be said and something enjoyable about it. Right? Because, you know, they're all kind of under your head clearance, except for right here where it's really close to the wall anyhow. And, true enough, if I wanted to have them run differently, could put one, like, right here. You know? Something along those lines. But then you miss out on having everything in this room, I think, powered, right? Well, you could just run another one.
Lost track of how
Yeah,
many
there's still ways in which we could improve it. And here, like I said, we've got other stuff set up here. Like I said, the more aesthetically pleasing chairs, where it doesn't quite make sense, and how the radio's kind of pushed over to the side. You know, to sort of imagine a couple people here, they wouldn't even be looking at each other if they sat in those chairs. Right. And I wanted to have another one here by the stairs to kind of, you know, I wanted to have this side somewhat balanced with all the shit that I'd put over on this side. You know, I wanted some degree of, like, room composition balance where it's not perfect, but I didn't want it to where, like, there was very little stuff on this side and a whole lot of junk on this side. I don't know. I've really, really enjoyed it. The more I look at it, the more I'm reminded of how much I enjoy it. And like I said, I don't think there's really anything else. It's such a shock, for real, that it's actually usable. I believe at one point, I had it set up to where Brahmin would come up here, and maybe this inner ring was used by Brahmin. But I think that Brahmin actually struggled to get up. Either that, or it looked too absurd to me to see Brahmin, like, coming and going up this steep incline. It either looked absurd or scary. Like, they would just fall off. I also tried it, I think, with I can't remember.
Easy living.
Is it this game where you can have railings on the stairs? Or am I thinking of like 76? I don't know. Let's see here. Did they use elevators in this game? I know elevators was added in afterward with one of the DLC. I don't know if they actually make use of it though. Let's see, wood, stairs. Yeah, I don't think, maybe there is no stair guard in that way. I might be thinking of Fallout 76.
You should have seen it. We cut those raiders to pieces. I doubt they'll be back.
God, this guy looks dope as hell. With his big ass turtle shell looking combat armor, the goggles, and then the plasma rifle.
We'll teach them again if they come back.
Okay. Yeah. Starlight Drive-In, wow. What a dream. How cool. Oh gosh. People singing over there. Let's get away from that. Yeah. Definitely cool as hell, I think. Thanks for watching me show off all my stupid shit. I think all the places that we had gone to are now proceeding to get attacked. Well, so be it. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. We're not going all the way back there to get that shit. Do you think we're going all the way back to Somerville Place? Or Warwick Homestead? No fucking way. When next we do come back, though, I think we will go up to Ten Pines Bluff and Outpost Zamonia. And then maybe we can make our way down to Covenant in the Taffington Boathouse. I don't know if I did anything with Covenant. I definitely did stuff with Taffington Boathouse. Not a ton, but a bit. Ten Pines Bluff, I built some cool stuff that looks supernatural. Not supernatural, but like, it looks organic. Outpost Zamonia, I definitely built that a whole bunch too. It looks decidedly less organic, but not quite to the same degree of Starlight Drive-In. Okay. These others out here, I don't think I did too much at. I don't know, though. I remember I wanted to get something started at Kingsport Lighthouse, but I don't know if I ever got it off the ground. I can't recall. Yeah, I'm curious about some of these. Some of these I don't even recall. Mechanist Lair, I think I did literally 0 with. That said, when we get to the DLC areas, I'm pretty sure I almost certainly built those up. Okay.
You hear about that farm run by...
But yeah, there you go.
That's something.
God, it's really enormous, too. I can't believe all of it. See, this is what I'm saying with regards to sort of the settlement size limit. And of course, some settlements have higher limits than others, which I assume is for, like, performance issues. But having it all kind of condensed in one area, one section, is so much more satisfying to me, right? Like, look at the overall space. Because we ignored this part, this pre-existing structure, and then, of course, the projector screen in the interior with it, and I think there's another structure on the opposite side. Because all of that got ignored, and of course, the weird little shack there. We were just able to create this absurd and dense structure, right? It's really wild. It is really wild. I don't know. If any of the ones I wanted to capture for video just to sort of like preserve for myself, this was at the top of the list. This is the one I wanted most to preserve. Man, I'm not even sure how I arranged to have these set up. I'm not even sure how that worked out. 'Cause look at that. Shouldn't that be somewhat off? Did I just eyeball it, maybe? Yeah, I think I did. I think for all these big pedestals here, I think I must have just eyeballed it. 'Cause what else would it align with here? This would be completely aligned with nothing, wouldn't it? God, yeah, I think that's exactly it. I just eyeballed it, huh? And you wouldn't be able to tell. Huh. Because you can't clip a floor directly onto a roof. You need to have some other type of attachment, right? When it comes to structures like that? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure how I exactly did it. I think for real, I just eyeballed it and connected them that way. Yeah, because look, there's some... Yeah! See, there's a little bit of space, but you would never... Because the rest of it is so fantastical, unless you're specifically looking for that detail, you would never know. I literally just fucking eyeballed it. And looks that right there? That's super convincing. Look how close that is. But this one's the dead giveaway. That I just eyeballed it. Okay, how about the others? Maybe it's just that one that I didn't have quite perfectly set up. Yeah, that one's pretty close. So is that... Yeah, it's just that one there in the corner. Which I bet we could fix. Man, it would be tough, though. God, it would take for fucking ever, wouldn't it? Because you would have to start from the bottom and then work your way up. And because we're playing on survival mode, you wouldn't be able to, like, quick save and revert a change real fast if you're like, no, it's not quite right. You would have to redo the entire fucking thing manually. I think the way you would do it is you would connect more shack foundation. That way you could at least have something to measure it by. I think that would be the way you do it, yeah. Yeah, you would have another shack foundation here and then just try and raise this one manually up a smidgen. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to remember now. Alright, when next we come back, Ten Pines and Zamonja and whatever else we can get to, right? Until next time, please take care of each other.